Gosh, I hope I still remember how to do this. Hi, it's Evelyn. Welcome to my life in Beijing. It still kind of feels a little crazy. We obviously have a lot to catch up on. I thought today we'd start with an apartment hunting video and chat all about how I found a place to live here in Beijing. I currently live in a 460 square foot studio in the heart of the Haidian District in Beijing. I pay about $830 in rent, which is a crazy price to pay for a living condition like this in Beijing as it turned out. So let's chat about how to find apartments in Beijing, rent prices, what to look out for, and take a look at the 5 to 6 apartments I've toured on my apartment hunt. Before we get to the actual apartment hunting though, I want to quickly go through the general process of apartment hunting in China. The first step is to start your search online. There are a few places you could look, ranging from most to least expensive are managed apartments, agencies, and online forums / classifieds. Managed apartments are basically apartments acquired by a company. They would renovate the place and then have a professional team help you choose apartments, move in, and with maintenance and cleaning and all of that. The most popular managed apartment platform here in China is called Z-Room. Their apartments generally look a little bit fancier, and because of that is a bit pricier. It is the most popular option among young professionals and my friends who live in big cities like Beijing or Shanghai. Also, if you happen to need an English-speaking agent, you would have a better chance of finding that with Z-Room too. Another source to look for apartments are agency websites. These would be the Chinese equivalents of apartments.com or Zillow. There are 2 big national chains in China. One is called Lianjia and the other is 5i5j.com. I know it's a weird name, but phonetically in Chinese, 5i5j sounds like I love my home, 我爱我家. But anyways, that is very irrelevant. You would go on their websites and check off listings that you like, contact the agents who will show you the apartment, and if you end up signing a lease, then you would pay 1 month's rent to that agent as an agent fee. Personally, I ended up renting with Lianjia. This is not sponsored or anything, by the way. It's just my honest and very personal experience. I did tour a couple apartments with 5i5j too, but I found them to be extremely unprofessional. Once I gave my phone number to one agent, I just kept getting spam calls from other agents from weeks on end asking if I had found an apartment. That was very annoying. Also, I think with Lianjia there are English-speaking agents too. Lastly, you can look for apartments on online forums or classifieds like 5a.com, which is kind of the Chinese version of Craigslist, Xianyu, which is Chinese Depop, a couple online forums like Douban Forum and Beijinger. I started my search on 5a.com and it was kind of a frustrating experience because a lot of the listings are fake. It's usually like real estate agents who make fake listings on the forum in order to get your phone number. On Xianyu, I found there to be fewer options. Not sure whether those postings are real either. On the Douban forum is typically people who are looking for roommates. Because the interface is not designed for apartment hunting, it's a little bit of a clumsy process to search and organize the information. Beijinger is actually a website for expats in Beijing. The listings there are a little bit pricey, but generally the apartments are a little nicer and the agents almost always speak English. So once you have picked out 5 or 6 apartments you like online, you can then contact the agents who will most likely arrange next day appointments for you. Once you have decided on an apartment, then the agent will arrange for you to meet the landlord and hopefully sign a contract. In the process, the agent will help you negotiate down the price, which in my case, I was able to chop like 11% off of my rent, which is kind of crazy, but there is a little bit of a caveat in that. I will talk about that later. And another thing with signing contracts is that your move-in date can actually be earlier than your lease start date, and the difference is counted as a moving period. In my view, it's really just like days that you can live at the apartment for free. So definitely ask about that and make sure to get as many moving days as possible. When you sign a lease, you typically need to pay 3 months of rent plus agent fee and another month of rent for deposit out of pocket, which means in total you do have to have about 5 months rent worth of cash ready in order to sign a lease. I know this can be a lot of money. You probably wouldn't need to pay as much upfront if you're renting with Z-Room or if you're just signing a contract with the landlord directly. You might have noticed that there isn't really an application or background check process for renting in China, which means you don't need to physically be in Beijing too much in advance of your actual move-in date. I would recommend giving yourself perhaps a week or 2 if you want to be on a safer side. The last thing before we get to the apartment tour is you need to know your budget and exactly what you're looking for. This rings true not only for apartment hunting in China, but it's also a good practice to have no matter where you're looking. My budget is 5,500 RMB to 6,000, and 6,000 is a hard cutoff. I'm looking for a south-facing studio or 1-bedroom with a clean kitchen and a clean bathroom within 20 minutes to my office. All of that, I would say, is a little bit of a challenge with my budget because the area around my office has a lot of old buildings, but because in Haidian District and especially in the Zhongguancun area where I work, there are a lot of developers and young professionals who get paid way too much to care about negotiating rent down to make it affordable for the rest of us. You end up with a lot of like crappy apartments with really high rent on the market. Now onto the actual apartment hunting. Going on apartment hunting in Beijing is a lot like going on dates, except that unlike dating clingy Chinese guys, you have to go into an apartment with the resolution to sign a contract on the spot. Apartments are not going to wait around for you to check out other ones and come back with your decision. Anyways, I went on speed dating with 8 apartments, I think, on a Saturday. The first apartment I toured was a 6,400 RMB studio in an old-ish building. I really liked a few details about this apartment: the navy blue wardrobe at the entrance, wood window frames, the exposed brick wall, storage space, and even the kitchen floor tiles. But there are a couple of deal breakers about this place. The kitchen looks very old and greasy and dirty, and the bathroom is literally a hole in the wall. The ceiling is so low that I wanted to dash out before even setting foot in it. And these are the things I cannot compromise on because I don't want to go home and feel like I want to escape, especially after a long day of work. So this apartment is not it. I do want to make a note though that this is a pretty typical example of apartment you will find in China, where it's in an oldish building, it's furnished but not with the prettiest furniture. The kitchen and bathrooms are usually a little old with a lot of exposed tubes. You will also not have an elevator. A lot of times there will even be stuff piled up in the hallways, which is why like clean kitchen and bathroom is actually a rare commodity in a market like this where you have a lot of old apartments and the real estate prices are already high. The next apartment was a 6,000 yuan studio. I was super excited about that one because there were a few vintage details in the pictures that I really dig, and I saw a lot of potential in making over the interiors and make it look really stunning. I'm really into making over apartments anyways, so as long as the space is clean and doesn't have structural flaws like in the last one, then I'm pretty happy with doing a little handiwork myself and making it look cozy. And this one, at least from the pictures, looked really promising for that purpose. However, the actual apartment was honestly a little creepy. There was a gigantic, clearly not usable mattress in the middle of the room. There is so much construction dust on the floor that it frankly looks like a blight. There's no flooring whatsoever in the kitchen and the bathroom. It's just exposed concrete, and it seems like no one has lived here since the 80s. So this was really disappointing and an instant no. Usually apartments go really fast on the market, especially in this location with a lot of young professionals ready to sign a lease on the spot. However, this one seems to be vacant for so long that like there's gotta be something wrong with it. If you are going on apartment hunting in China, it's definitely a fair question to ask how long this unit has been vacant, and if it has been on the market for a while, feel free to ask why, because these are the type of details that real estate agents might not give to you voluntarily but could reveal information that's really important for your decision. Another thing about this apartment is that it's on the 6th floor and there is no elevator in the building, and this will present a lot of challenges when you have to move or get packages delivered, because movers will definitely charge extra for climbing up the stairs, and sometimes if you order a big delivery or a piece of furniture, for example, they will also charge you extra for delivery to door. The next apartment I toured was even more promising than this one. It was a 5,800 one-bedroom, which truly is a steal. Although the interiors are not particularly appealing, there's a lot of potential for a makeover. And the kitchen and bathroom, they're not ideal, but at least they're not disgusting like the previous two I've seen. Also, there is an elevator in the building, which is pretty rare for an old building like this. So it's starting to look like a pretty good deal, with one big caveat, and that is this apartment smells weird. This is something that I just do not want to have to live with. Having an old stale smell is definitely a sign that the apartment is not very well maintained. You can imagine you'll probably uncover other problems like cockroaches or clogged bathrooms or like a smelly kitchen when your neighbors cook. Although overall this apartment was the best I've seen so far, so I was like keeping it as a backup option. In the same neighborhood, I also toured another apartment which the agent sent to me the night before, literally when I was on a train to Beijing. I wasn't initially going to tour this one because I really didn't like the flooring and it's a little bit over my budget, but having been so thoroughly disappointed with the first few apartments I toured, in the middle of the day I called the agent and asked for like an emergency appointment. This is, again, you guessed it, in an old building without an elevator. However, it's on the second floor, so moving up and down the stairs isn't a big concern. This is also a newly renovated space, so there isn't any furniture yet, which is actually perfect because I kind of wanted to buy my own pieces anyways. And once I saw the kitchen and the bathroom, I was just sold because they're definitely the newest and cleanest I've seen all day. And besides, there's this gorgeous red vintage wood wardrobe in the apartment that just has so much styling potential. And at this point I was just like, I want to sign this. Please call the landlord and see if he can bring the price down a little bit. At this point, several things could happen. In the happiest case scenario, the landlord will come back with a lower price and I would sign this apartment, but also someone else could tour this place the second after I leave and sign it at 6,200. So I couldn't relax just yet and hurried to my next appointment. The next apartment I toured was a 6,800 one bedroom with Z room. There is additional maintenance fee on top of the rent, and frankly this is so much above my price range already that I wasn't completely serious about it, but I wanted to check out what a managed apartment looks like, and it is quite an improvement compared to the other ones I've seen earlier today. I loved the hardwood floor, and the kitchen and bathroom was definitely a lot cleaner than most of the previous apartments I saw. The interiors are a lot more aesthetically pleasing. However, there were a few off-putting details. One is the stainless steel countertop, which makes the kitchen feel like a commercial kitchen. Also, the washing machine is in the kitchen, and worst of all, there's this whole wall in the bedroom that is just peeling. The whole point of a managed apartment is that someone will be taking care of this. With that said, I did not continue to pursue that one. However, if this is your first time looking for an apartment in China, I would highly recommend at least touring a few with Z room because their apartments do tend to be way better managed compared to all of the other ones I've seen. So I'm gonna call it a day today because it's getting late and I have a really good feeling about the second to the last apartment. So let's just fingers crossed nothing goes wrong. Now all I have to do is to go back to the hotel and wait. I did make 3 or 4 other appointments for tomorrow just in case this one doesn't work out, but I'm really hoping it does. Wish me luck. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey guys, good morning. So the agent called last night and the landlord apparently agreed to rent the apartment at 5,700, which, like, oh my gosh, I would have signed the lease at 6,000. So I just asked for like the earliest appointment this morning to just go sign the lease. And part of me is kind of low-key worrying like what's the catch. But now at least I have a place to live. Anyways, I'm gonna go sign a contract, get the keys, and hopefully, like, if nothing goes wrong, I'm no longer gonna be homeless in Beijing. This is my new home! In the next couple of days, I moved into the apartment, managed to get some basic pieces of furniture, and got settled in as much as I could before starting a new job on Monday. I also finally found out the catch about this apartment, which I will show you right now. You see that big tube out there? That is the kitchen vent from a really popular restaurant right downstairs. I was so busy getting excited when I was touring this apartment that I did not notice this restaurant literally right outside the window at all. So now not only do my entire apartment smell like spicy Sichuanese noodles, see those big cubes out there? Those are fans for air conditioning units downstairs. And over the summer, I'm going to be blasted by the noise all day long. So there is that. I contacted the landlord. He said that the agent actually advised him to deliberately hide this information from me. He feels really bad, so he reduced the rent to 5,500. All in all, it is an insane deal for the area I'm in Beijing. However, this is like not that much less than a similar apartment in a non-central area in Chicago, which is kind of really surprising because I initially was expecting to live a lot more cheaply in China. I was very specific about living within 20 minutes to my office because the commute can get pretty bad in Beijing. Even on subways during rush hour, a lot of my friends in Beijing would have to commute for over an hour each way every single day, and I think that would definitely become too much of a burden day after day. So I'm okay with paying a higher rent for a shorter commute. That is all I can think of so far. I hope it's somewhat helpful. If you have anything to add to what I said or found some of it to be not quite accurate, please drop a comment below. I think it'll be really helpful for people who might be looking for that information. I guess for those of you who are new here, I just started working as a project manager for a big tech company in Beijing. If you're interested in what life in Beijing is like, make sure to like this video, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. I'll see you next time. Bye!